Right, so I'm just repeating this. When you are presenting from your application screen, you can set your PPT slide in the reading mode, and you will find that at the bottom of your window on this ribbon here, you will see one of those icons is reading mode. This works very well, and then you can see your whole slide in the presentation on this blackboard. So how you go about to do this is at the bottom of your screen, you would see your little bubble for our chat, and then you will see a little square with an arrow, and if you click on it, you will see that you can share your content. So you can choose to upload your files beforehand, meaning that you can upload your PowerPoint, or you can make a PDF from your PowerPoint. And before our micro teaching session, you will be able to upload it onto this session. So then it will save us a few minutes, so that we don't struggle with uploading stuff and maybe have load shedding or data issues or whatever. So if you want to, you are welcome to share your files in this session. It will stay there until you remove it. So just please name it very clearly so that you don't use someone else's files. So please name it with your name, label it with your name. So what I suggest is that you upload it just before our session, and after our session, you delete it. All right, so I will assist you with that if you struggle. Play around a bit with it. Like I said, this link is now open. So until next Friday, you are welcome to go onto this link anytime and play around here. Practice a bit so that you get familiar with this platform. All right, so what I'm doing now is I'm sharing my application or my screen, so you can also do it like this. It really does not matter. Whatever way you are more comfortable with, it's up to you. All right, so for micro teaching for TCiA, Teacher Choices in Action module, we've got a few things that we need to check off. So our first tick that we need to make is our online module. You are all busy with this online module. There are 6 units and 1 summative assessment that you do online. And the deadline for this is 18 June, which is next Friday. So what's going to happen is Friday at midnight, they are going to close this online module, and you will not be able to do any lesson observations or reflections or the summative assessment. So then you are, that is your deadline. So if you are not able to complete this module, you would have to apply for the supplementary, and there will be some restrictions. So please, people, that is why I am sending emails again and again and trying to get everybody going to complete this module, because if you do not complete this TCiA online, you will not be able to tick this module off, and you will have to do it again next year. So please, this is very important. The deadline is the 18th of June, so please try and complete all 6 units, all the lesson observations. There are 5 of them. Learning Unit 6 doesn't have a lesson observation. It's got a summative assessment at the end of Learning Unit 6. Right, and then after you've done that, you are going to create a series of 3 lesson plans and a rationale. I'm going to talk about this in the next slide. What I just want to tell you here is you are going to choose your own topic in your own subject. Any topic or any subject within your phase, you may choose a topic from, and you are going to create those 3 lessons as a set, meaning lesson 1 then follows lesson 2, and lesson 3 follows on lesson 2. So that it forms a set or a series as a whole. You are only going to present a slice or a part of one of those lessons. It's up to you which one. It doesn't have to be the first one. It's up to you. Right, I will talk about that in the next slide as well. So after you've prepared your 3 lesson plans and your rationale, you are going to do the micro teaching, which is going to be on the 17th or the 18th of June. You have already been divided into groups, and you are going to present your little slice of your lesson in your group. So you are going to be 4 students, and each of you is going to have 25 minutes that the floor is yours. So in the first 10 minutes, you are going to do your rationale. In other words, the reasons for your choices that you made to create the lesson. You are going to then present us with a slice of one of those lessons. So you are free to use the PowerPoint presentation, you can use videos, you can use YouTube, you can use any app, doesn't matter, it's up to you. You are going to wow us with your lesson. You are going to be the teacher. I just want to see, I heard that there's Ronald, you've got your hand up, yes?
Hi, ma'am. When it comes to the rationale, do we just need one rationale for the entirety of the 3 lessons since they're all interlinked?
Yes.
Okay,
You
and then
only need one.
yeah, then also in one of the emails that Mariki sent us, she said we must make a summary in brackets, a synopsis of all 3 lessons. What is that exactly, ma'am?
I'm going to I'm going to get to that now.
Okay,
Um, that is part of your rationale.
okay,
All
thank
right.
you, ma'am.
So just if I do not tell you, you have to remind me, please, Ronald. All right. So a synopsis is a summary. So one rationale for all 3 lessons, the reason why you chose the topic, your choices that you made regarding the context, the knowledge that you have, your learners, the diversity, etc., etc. I will also show you where you can get information on that. And then a synopsis is a summary of what you have taught to the learners. All right, so just to recap on this, the micro teaching session is going to be 2 hours. You are 4 in the group. Each of you are going to have more or less half an hour to present your rationale in 10 minutes and your lesson, the part of one of the lessons, in 15 minutes. Then after that, after our whole micro teaching session, you are going to go to the discussion board on this TEIP 6219 module on VC Learn, and you are going to create a thread and participate in a discussion. I will also get to that in the next slide. Right, so that's going to be the micro teaching. A rationale, a slice of one of the lessons, and then a participation in a discussion forum. And then you are going to submit a hard copy of your POE on the 23rd of June at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That is the deadline. Any time before that is also good. And all that you do for this hard copy POE is you are going to print out your 3 lesson plans, which you do on your lesson plan templates, as well as your rationale. The rationale is very important. Right, and then you put that into a file and you submit that at Varsity College. You do not submit that online. All right, so it's a hard copy on the 23rd of June. So you still have time after our micro-teaching session, a whole week to really tweak your lesson plans so that it's the best that you are able to present. Right, so that is the checklist for the whole of this. We call it actually your teaching experience that should have been done last year. That's why we call it the 2020. So you were not able to go to the schools. So what we do now is we have this online module, the teacher choices in action module, as well as the micro teaching, where you create 3 lesson plans and a rationale. You present that to us, participate in a discussion, and then you submit those 3 lesson plans as well as your rationale as a hard copy POE. Just a note on that, you do not need to print out all the rubrics. That is not necessary. I am going to do an online rubric assessment, and after that I will print it out and I will put it into your file for you to collect again. Right, so let's get to this, the 3 lesson plans and the rationale. So I say to you, or I just remind you there to refer to TE 213, and I will also just explain this PDF to you. Right, so your 3 lesson plans, it's your own lesson plans. You don't have to speak to your group about it. It is your own. You choose it. It's got nothing to do with your group. It's an individual 3 lesson plans from any subject in your phase, and you may choose any topic there. Make sure that it forms a set. It's your own set. That's why I say each student's own set. It doesn't have anything to do with the rest of your group. Try to link it to a personal experience or a real world example or a case study. Try to link your topic that you choose for your lessons to a personal experience or real world examples. Then the rationale. The rationale is almost like an essay where you describe your thinking in the lesson planning. You have to consider the knowledge of the topic, the learners and the diversities, and the opportunities in this context. That is what you need to consider in your rationale. Right, so let me quickly share with you this TE this is not the one that I want to share. Sorry, people, I just need to, I've got so many things open here now. So let me just close off this. Right. So this is our TE 213 version 2 teacher choices in action rationale for lesson design guidelines. This document, this PDF, you need to read through very carefully and make sure that you understand everything in here. I've actually already touched on everything, but not the rubrics. And the rubrics, as you know, for any POE or assignment is very, very important. Right, so what it says here, it's got 3 sections. So the first one is to prepare the set of 3 lessons. The next one, and the rationale, sorry. The next one is your micro teaching itself, where we have our sessions in the groups of 4, where you present a synopsis or actually a summary of your lesson series. You just tell us what is your series about? What are you doing? What is your lesson objectives for all three of them? After you have done all three of them, what do you want your learners to be able to do? And you give us a quick summary of the three lessons. And then you give a rationale for your choices. The reasons why you chose that, the reason why you chose the specific strategy, the reason why you have grouped your learners into the groups that you have chosen. So all the choices that you made while you were preparing these lessons. And that is what the whole module, this online module, was about. All the choices that you need to make when you are a teacher. You are going to tell us what choices did you make. Remember, it is your make-believe classroom or class, and you are going to create your own story here, if I can put it like that. Describe your learners in the section F and G. Describe your strategies that you used and why you did it. Right, and then after that, our campus chose to do the collaborate session on Learn and not a face-to-face micro-teaching session on campus. Right, so that is just the two options that we had. And then number C should actually be C here. You submit your lesson series, in other words, the 3 lesson plans, and your rationale in your POE for the final assessment. Right, so here we've got detail about how to prepare your lessons, how to choose your lesson topic, the rationale for your lesson design. Please make sure that you are able to answer these 3 questions in your rationale. This is what your rationale is going to be about. Right, so how does the knowledge of this topic inform choices for lesson design? What is the main ideas and most important things to know about this topic? What ways of thinking and doing are important for learning this topic? How do these inform the design of learning tasks and sequencing of lesson steps? How do learners and their diversities inform choices for lesson design? How have I ensured that all learners may participate and learn? And then how do opportunities in this context inform choices for lesson design? What possibilities and constraints have I considered? So those are the questions that you are going to think about when you design your lessons. And you are going to explain your thinking in your rationale. And then the synopsis or the summary will also be linked to this. So it's actually just an extension of your rationale. You just give us a summary of what you have done in your lessons and why you have done it. Right, so the micro teaching, you are going to start off when it's your turn. You are going to start off with your rationale, and directly after that, you are going to present your part of your lesson. So just read this, present a synopsis of your lesson series, giving a rationale for your choices. Write a rationale for your lesson series where you focus on the following points. Your rationale should be 500 words. Discuss the rationale for your choices, the reason for your choices. Also, give us the conceptual or skill development over the set of 3 lessons. What is the incorporation of learning from university-based coursework and the teacher choices in action module? This is very important, this last part. Show me that you have learned something in your coursework at university and in this module. Use the terminology and show me that you understand that. All right. So the second part of your presentation will be the pre-selected slice of a lesson to your class. So it's up to you which part of which lesson you want to present. And you are going to teach us in that 15 minutes. And then it's the next student's turn. And then when we are finished with all four presenting their rationales and their slices of their lessons, we are going to participate in a discussion board where you are going to create, each of you are going to create a thread in your name. So you are going to write Marga Vos, and I'm going to write, say for instance, I did a lesson on mathematics, data handling. Then I'm going to reflect on my lesson. In other words, how did it go with the lesson that I presented to my supervisor and my peers in the micro-teaching session? You are going to reflect. There are a few things that you need to keep in mind when you reflect. And then you are going to ask us questions. Us, meaning the three other students in your group and even me. You can ask us questions about your lesson. And we, the rest of your group, we is the rest of the students and me, are going to give you feedback on your lesson, and we are also going to respond to the questions that you asked us. All right. So what is important is that you are going to get marks for your reflection of your lesson that you started your thread with, and you are going to get marks for your feedback that you give to the rest of your group. So you need to participate in this discussion board to the rest of your group. So this is going to be, you have to remember in which group you were. So Ronald, Valeska, and Tamarin and Michael, you are in a group. So say for instance, Tamarin starts with her thread and she reflects on her lesson and she asks a few questions. Michael and Valeska and Ronald are going to reply to her thread by giving her feedback to her lesson, constructive, valuable feedback, as well as answer the questions that she asked. And then Tamarin can then also engage in a discussion further on. So you know how a discussion board works. I will also show you just how to participate on our platform. All right, so that is the whole, oh, sorry, no, it's not. I wanted to go to the rubrics. So people, I think we're not going to have time to read through all the rubrics here, but I just want to quickly show you how the rubrics work here. So rubric A is for micro-teaching and the rationale and your reflection. This reflection is the reflection that you are going to type up in the discussion board, in your discussion thread that you create on our forum. This is the reflection. We've already spoken about the rationale and the micro-teaching part. So what I am going to use is this rubric. It's a bit not the normal rubric that you are used to. This one works like this. The evidence of your teacher thinking, in other words, your rationale for planning and your reflection is assessed by looking at these four columns. Not yet achieving, basic, adequate achievement, comprehensive, competent achievement, or insightful and advanced achievement. So for instance, you are aiming for this block. So if I see that you fall in this block, I make a tick on this block, and then I look vertically to the teacher action. In other words, your lesson delivery. The lesson delivery works in these rows. So these are the 4 rows that I consider. If you are unsure and unclear, I will tick this block. If you have a confident lesson delivery, I will tick this one. And strong, confident, and masterful management, this block. So then I work to see where it corresponds, and I will see if you had an insightful, advanced achievement, and you had a masterful management of a learning pathway, you will fall here in this block where it connects 80% or over, and I will give you a mark out of 15 that is 80% or over. You understand? If you were unsure in your lesson delivery and you did not explain your thinking in your rationale very well, then you will fall in this block, and I will give you a mark out of 15 that is between 40 and 45%. All right, so all that you have to concentrate on is to achieve this block with your rationale and your reflection, and to achieve this block with your lesson delivery. So aim for the best. Then for your community of learning on the discussion board, you are going to get marks out of 10 for your feedback that you give to the other students in your group and how you participate in the group discussion. So what I want you to do is to just indicate when you create a thread, I want you to indicate in which group you were. When you create the thread, you just write me your group number and I will give that to you as well. All right, so lesson feedback report. For all 3 lessons, we use this lesson planning rubric, so it differs slightly from our normal rubrics in our POEs for the other modules. So please go through this very carefully and aim for 9 to 10 out of 10. For all 3 lessons, we are going to use this rubric. So make sure you aim for the best. Right. And if you scroll down, this is lesson 2's lesson planning rubric and lesson 3's lesson planning rubric. So please make sure that you go through all those rubrics. And that is the TE 213 Teacher Choices in Action Rationale for Lesson Design Guidelines, the version 2. I have sent this on email for everyone as well. Right, I just quickly want to go back to my PPT slides. Right, next slide. How do we prepare for our micro-teaching session? Please ensure that you have data or Wi-Fi for the duration of the session. It's going to take 2 hours and you need to have data for that entire 2 hours because you need to make notes of your peers' lessons as well to be able to give constructive, valuable feedback. Please have a backup plan in case of load shedding, please. This is very important. We cannot reschedule all the groups. And because of the feedback that you need to give in the discussion forum, you need to be in groups and you need to be there for the entire 2 hours. Like I said, you are welcome to upload your files beforehand. But if you do not want to use that way, you are welcome to use the PowerPoint reading mode or the slideshow mode. It does not matter. Please test your microphone and your camera beforehand. I would like us to get dressed and to get out of our pajama tops. You can still sit with your slippers and your pajama pants, but just to say hello to everyone and present ourselves with our camera and make sure that your microphone is working. All right, so if you get kicked out of the session, please don't panic. Just join again. All right, it's going to happen that you are going to have connectivity issues. It's no problem. Just please try to connect again with your backup plan in case of load shedding. So remember, this is a presentation, so please prepare well and wow us. All right, so prepare your lessons and show us what you can do. Right, so this is going to be where you are going to click on. I've created a quick link for you on this module, TEIP 6219 VCPT1. Hopefully by next week, we will all be in one group so that we can just click on this one, MicroTeach Marga, for our session like you did now. And then afterwards, you are going to click on this discussion after micro-teaching Marga, this one, to have the discussion. And I will get to that now. Right, so just a recap on our micro-teaching. You start by logging onto our TEIP module on VC Learn, micro-teach Marga, the time of your group session. You know in which group you are and what time you are presenting. I will also send you an email with a schedule of where you are so that you can just refer to that. You can load your preparations beforehand. Please just remember to have detailed naming of your files so that you don't get lost with the other students' files on our session. When you present, please, before you start with your group session, you as group members should decide the order in which you are going to present so that we don't waste time and you are sure which one of you are going to go first, second, third, and fourth. Then, as we already stated, 10 minutes for your rationale and 15 minutes for the part of your lesson. And please, people, we need to stick to this. Otherwise, I am going to run into trouble because the whole of Thursday and the whole of Friday is booked out for sessions from 9 o'clock until 5. So please, we cannot go over this. I will have to stop you then. All right, so please make sure that you are able to wow us in your 25 minutes. Right, the discussion afterwards is also on VC Learn. You create your own thread in the forum, the discussion forum, where you reflect on your lesson and you give feedback to your other peers and you engage in the feedback that they have given you. So you respond to questions or to feedback. All right, so there's no limit to the amount of replies that you may give on that thread. Right, and then on the 23rd of June, you go to campus and you submit your hard copy with the 3 lesson plans and the rationale, and you do not need to print out your rubrics. Please refer to your rubrics in the TE213 PDF. Right, that's the end of my slideshow. I will also put this up for you, or I will just send it with our timetables to you on an email. Right, so I just want to quickly show you the planner. So on Thursday, 17 June At 9 o'clock, we've got group 1, which is Levishka, Megan, Angelique, and Nkobile. You present from 9 till 11. Then at 12 to 2, it's group 2, Valeska, Tamarin, Ronald, and Michael. Then from 3 to 5 is group 3, and you are Callista, Tyler, Alice, and Theo. Then on the 18th of June, it will be Carol in group 4. Carol, Tsehufatsu, Mulwili, and Tatu. You are up from 9 to 11. Then group 5 is Zenadia, Trishka, Chanel, and Roxanne from 12 to 2. And then group 6 is Zane, Mapute, and Lindakule from 3 to 5. Right, I will send this to you as well so that you know in which group you are. Right, so I just want to quickly go to our discussion board. If you go to your module TIP 6219 2020 PEI2 BCPT1, you will see this quick link discussion after micro teaching Marga. And you click on that, and here is your discussion group. So what you do here is you read through this, how you should go about. Then you click on this, on my name there, and you create your thread. When you create your thread, please indicate the group that you are in. Group 1, group 2, group 3, what, with the names of your group members as well. But I would suggest you start with, for instance, Valeska. Valeska Nel, I think your surname is Nel. If it's not, I'm sorry. Valeska Nel, group 2, and then in brackets, you just write down the members' names so that they know how to reply to your thread. So remember, if we create a thread, I just want to quickly create a thread here. If you have already created a thread, you would see that my name is there. So when you want to respond or give feedback to Valeska, you are going to click on her thread where she reflected on her lesson, and then you are going to reply here to her so that we have got a little train like this replying to this whole section here. All right, so that we don't have more threads. You only create a thread when you reflect on your lesson. The rest of the time when you give feedback, you need to reply to a thread. You understand what I mean? Should I do it again, or are you all comfortable with a discussion forum? Right, seems like you are all comfortable. Do you have any questions for me here? If you get lost and you somehow get to this discussion board like this and you see this, please don't panic. Just click on my surname there and it will take you here as well. It's all linked. All right, so this discussion forum is linked to this quick link, and it's also linked to your course tools. If you somehow get lost and you click on discussion board, it will also be there. All right, so it's all linked together. Righty, any questions for me? You are really welcome to ask now. Do we need a specific file for the submission of the hard copies? No, Ronald. You may just put it into a flip file. You can do it in a proper hard file. No, it does not matter, not at all. It's up to you. Do we need to put the lesson plans through SafeAssign first? That's a very good question. No, you are not submitting online, so I don't think you need to submit through SafeAssign, but I will just make sure about that and get back to you. All right. Any other questions? Ronald, I did address all your questions that you had in the beginning. Hey, great. Anyone who would like to just test their microphone, you are welcome. You can play around a bit now in the session while you are here. I'm going to leave the session now because I want to go to the second group. So I will also send you a link